Hey everybody, what's up? Larry Mike back here again with you, the Movie Cranks. And don't forget, before we start this review, hit that subscribe button, get yourself entered to win the $50 gift certificate we'll be giving away November 1st to the movies. So you're going to want to check that out. And tonight we got to check out for you, Gemini Man.
Of all the people in the world to come after me, why would he send you?
Gemini Man.
Yes, and this one is about Will Smith as Henry, pretty much fighting Will Smith. There isn't really too much to this one. Yeah, we got Junior, and basically you got Will Smith playing Henry, who is an ex-Special Forces sniper who decides to retire, and of course, like every other cliche movie out there, what do they come up with? Well, we got to assassinate this ex-great sniper. And there's only one guy, of course, in this world that can kill Will Smith or take him on. And of course, that's Will Smith.
I think I know why he's as good as you. He is you.
Because he loves his vanity projects.
Yeah, this rings of a vanity project because you constantly are getting images of Will Smith being the best of the best. They're talking about him all the time. Who's the greatest sniper? It's Will Smith. Who's the best assassin of all time? It's Will Smith. Who has all these records? It's Will Smith.
It's kind of like the same character, like you were talking on the car way there, way back here. That it's the same character as like another Earth.
Right.
He is the end-all, do-all, perfect human being. So you have to clone him to fight himself.
And he's got all these weird problems, like with PTSD that don't make any sense. Like he can't sleep at night, so somehow he's able to fight like a maniac and do martial arts and jump over buildings, but yet never sleeps.
Yes, and that's the young him, and that's one thing I have a big problem with.
Oh, and
you have old Will Smith who seems like a human.
Yeah,
he isn't perfect, but then you have his younger self who literally can like crawl up buildings like a freaking spider.
They made this perfect movie with Will Smith, who he had this idea that he wanted to become an action hero again, and he wanted an action movie. And I will give it this. They create a decent action flick.
No, there is a good movie in this movie.
It's buried deep under Ang Lee. It's got a lot of sentimental moments that are nonsense. It's got a lot of talking about you can be whoever you want to be. Don't be like me. Be whoever you... And it's just like, oh, shut up after a while. I mean, Jesus.
I do understand why Will Smith took the project.
I did too.
Money. On paper, it looks like it probably could be a good movie.
Yeah.
And when you watch it, it isn't bad. I didn't think it was the worst movie.
But they've done this before with the Sharon Stone movie with Banderas. You know, they had these sniper assassins, remember? Mm-hmm. And they had these kind of shootout movies before. But I almost think I was more entertained by those than this. I was half asleep during parts of this movie. And I think that's just because there's no stakes. It's hard to explain. If you had a movie like, Armageddon. Bruce Willis, the whole crew going up into space. Remove the threat of the meteorite. Say the meteorite was never going to hit Earth. It was just a drilling team going up to space. It would have been kind of blah. Yeah. It wouldn't have been. There would have been no impact. This movie is just about these three people versus this unknown, unnamed kind of like, what are they? Assassins group, I guess. Gemini Project.
Yeah, the Gemini Project.
There's no stakes because if you kill Will Smith, it's over. They're not trying to blow up the world. They're not trying to kidnap people. They're not trying to make money, apparently. I don't know what the whole point of the movie is just Will Smith and the kid. The junior Will Smith. And it's just there's nothing else there.
I enjoyed some of the beginning.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun. There's a lot of action, and then they kind of go away from that for a little while and kind of gets a little boring.
Yes, there's moments where you're just traveling from place to place. It's Will Smith and his crew. I mean, we've seen that before. Mission Impossible, perfect example. When you got the crew going and flying between places and they're getting the masks ready and they're checking out layouts and stuff, it's cool. It's riveting because you have a purpose. They have a goal. They need to save the Earth. They need to stop a nuke. This, it's like they're in a plane talking about feelings. Yeah. And they're like, hey, when all this is done, are you going to go back to fishing again? And I'm like, oh my God, I just couldn't care less.
Yeah, I just feel like they changed the character's mind too fast. I mean, it literally happens. I went to the bathroom, I came back, and he was on the other team.
You're just trying to rattle me. I'm trying to save you! What are you, 23?
Yeah, he did.
Like,
he
what?
left.
What happened?
He left, and it was Junior fighting Will Smith. He left for a few moments, came back, and all of a sudden they were like best friends.
Yeah, it's like it was like they're father and son now. And I get that, you know, a clone of you would see probably almost like your kid.
Let's talk about some other things too. Let's talk about namely the science behind this movie. They have a clone version of Will Smith that I thought the way this was going to work out, and this is a slight spoiler, I thought it was going to be a lab-grown human, fully developed, with skills and abilities and all this stuff. This was in the future. I thought this was going to be in the future. It turns out it's not. And somehow this guy cloned Will Smith back in, I'm guessing, the 80s?
Well, he's supposed to be 23, so that would have been 1996.
And we're just supposed to be cool with this. The fact that they never perfectly cloned a human being.
And they never explained why he did it.
Or how.
Then. I think they should have started the movie, because I think this movie has enough time where they could have added an extra 10 minutes. They could have added 10 minutes, added some science, added Clive Owen actually cloning Will Smith, so you understand where it comes from and why it happens. You know, and you could have even built up a little, maybe, love-hate relationship between the two.
It is weird because they skipped all of that. The setup for the actual clone version of Will Smith is completely just in the wind. They didn't set any of that up. He just appears. And it's like, whoa, boy, that's convenient. And that's another thing. Convenience. There's a lot of convenience in this movie. If they need a plane, hell, just call up their friend.
You need a gun?
The monk.
Guys, I need a plane or a chopper now.
and get him to fly out in the middle of nowhere.
You need a gun, just lift the board. It's there.
Yeah. And then make another phone call. You got a Gulfstream jet. I mean, hell, this guy could pull off any flight you could imagine at any time. And then you need a gun? What the hell? We got like a Matrix Reloaded level of guns.
Hey, so what do you need? Guns. Lots of guns.
Yeah. Where'd they come from? Who knows?
Yeah, and then
rolls of money this big, and they're just throwing them out like, here, take this. And I'm like, that was like 10 grand probably. I mean,
yeah, stuff just
very convenient.
It's very conveniently, it comes out of nowhere. It's just like he said, poof, it's there.
Give me your idea on how it was filmed and all that in the audio.
Well, I ain't gonna get into that right now because I thought it was okay. I know you had a little problem with that. I thought the cinematography was fine. My problem was with these effects.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's where we're going.
There are times they look freaking awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't tell that he's not a younger Will Smith. And then there are times that it looks like a freaking video game. I feel like they took so much time trying to put this face on Will Smith that they cheapened up everything else. Because there's times like when he's on the motorcycle and all that stuff. I mean, some people may be going, oh, that looks really nice. But the editing is so chopped up, you can't even tell.
Yeah, it's...
And then and there's times with Will Smith, it just looks so video game.
Yeah, where he's jumping like on the bike and driving and doing like wheelies and all this kind of stuff.
Climbing walls like a spider.
Yeah, it didn't look very good. We've seen some crazy stuff with deep fakes in the last year or two.
You got to get out of here. Get out of this. The bomb in there. Get out. Dad, come on. You got to go. I need to pull up on now. And we're gonna watch Peppa Pig. Come on.
I love Schwarzenegger as a baby.
Yeah.
This is so much fun.
I want to watch Doc McStuffins. And then I need my yogurt. Come on. I threw up. I need Pedialyte.
Yeah.
So I can see this being the next thing down the line. Martin Scorsese says, "Hey, it's going to be a big thing
And
for
I have a
makeup
problem.
effects."
I have a problem with that too, because you know why? This just sets it, man. I mean, we've been living with sequels and reboots.
Yes.
Now we're gonna have to live with the same actors.
Yes, we're going to have
for
Arnold
the rest of our
Schwarzenegger.
lives.
Oh God! No! No!
We're going to have Arnold Schwarzenegger. When I'm in my 80s, he'll be just starting off. And it's like, well,
We actually talked about that earlier. And
Arnold 3.0.
and I said, you know what, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, I'm cool with that.
But it's just like, you had some moments to where the action, when it's Will Smith versus Will Smith, you could tell that they were fast. They were clipping the frames or something. They were fast forwarding the action scenes. Not like you would see like fast forwarding a disc, but I'm talking like just subtle increases in the frame rate. So they
Yeah, I
looked
did
like
notice
they were
that.
doing this.
But no,
like,
this was actually, I think, filmed in a 60 or 90 frame rate thing.
yeah, it was very noticeable.
Who came up with that?
The
And
scenes
you know
where
what?
there's
That's-
action
Now that I think about that, it's probably why some of the CG
looked odd.
really stand it out for me
Yeah.
as being kind of odd looking.
Now, when it was the side of his face, or like a shot from like up here or something like that, it looked great.
And I was even good with the straight ons.
Sometimes.
It's when he's moving his head back and forth.
Yes.
It looks very robotic.
He's a little wooden the way he talks because they need him not to move a lot
Yeah.
when he's speaking. So he's always like, "I don't understand," and he's not moving.
Yeah,
hardly
but his
at all.
eyes kind of move. It's
His
almost like
eye, yeah.
it's almost like a guy who's hurt his neck.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, how's it
He's
going?"
just always straight like this, but they made it look good. But the direct sunlight shots,
bad.
oh, they were so bad. It looked like
Right there at the
like
end.
he was a wax version
Yeah, especially
in the
at end.
daylight. That's why it was a lot of dusk shots and nighttime shots and things like that.
Yeah, if you go out and you see this, just wait out for the end. Check out, you'll know what we're talking about.
Yeah. And the action scenes were okay. I liked a lot of them. There was a lot of good gunfire. There was real looking tracer bullets shooting everywhere. There was explosions.
I did like some
Pretty
of the
good.
practical effects.
Yeah.
The scene with the guy with the big old Gatling gun. He's got the
From the
armor
commercial.
on. He's like,
That one
the
was
bullets
exciting.
just going through the
Yeah.
I don't know what they were.
They were like some kind of convenience store.
Yeah, but it just looked real cool.
Yeah, it had a sprinkling of some decent... It didn't bore us to death. I mean, it still had decent action scenes that would just pop up throughout the movie, but it just wasn't memorable. Like I said, there was no stakes. You didn't care about most of the people in the movie. I mean, Clive Owen, he was kind of just... he's done a lot better in other movies. I didn't buy him as this bad guy character in this.
I'm not a big Clive Owen fan.
I'm
I never really have been. I've seen him in a few movies I thought were good,
yeah.
but a lot of times he plays the same character. It's the same character he's playing here.
Yep.
Just like Will Smith. I mean, you got
It's Will Smith
You got
playing
Will
Will Smith.
Smith playing Will Smith. And you got
Yeah.
Clive Owen playing Clive Owen.
You just don't you don't see them develop like this different character. It'd be like you watching Will Smith at his house, reading a paper and talking. It's just him. It's not like he's creating a character. Like okay, perfect example with the Joker. Joaquin
That's-
Phoenix created this amazing, detailed, disturbed character that was completely unlike anything you've ever seen before from Joaquin Phoenix.
Will Smith has been nominated for Oscars
Yes.
before, so I know he's a capable actor. I just feel like he was kind of phoning it in.
Well, it just felt like it was just him. I mean, he wasn't trying to create something, like a new character. It was just, hey, look, I'm Will Smith, but yet I'm a sniper. Okay. And I just didn't get anything more than that. And that's sadly a lot of it.
Yep.
I mean, his lady friend, I mean, she was throughout the movie with him. I mean, there was this other agent that was involved. And then she ends up getting hooked up with him and joining their side. Mary.
She was in that
Elizabeth.
Cloverfield.
Yes.
Yes, I liked her in that.
She was great in
She is
Cloverfield.
not that here. I mean, she's good. There's times where she gets in a fight, good fight scenes.
Yeah.
And that's Dang Lee coming out here. There are some pretty good fight scenes.
Good choreography.
Yeah. But overall, throughout the movie, she was just kind of a bland character.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know if there's a love interest between her and Will Smith or her and the younger guy. I'm just a little confused there.
Well, you had such a profound, like really crazy acting out of her when she was buried underground with John Goodman. And I would have been crazy too. I mean, look at that guy.
No! Don't open that door! They're going to get all of us killed!
There's just a lot we wanted, we just didn't get.
Yeah, I think, like I said, there's a good movie.
This should have been
somewhere.
a January movie.
Yes, this should have been a January movie.
Yeah.
There's a good movie in here. It's just they fail in a lot of places.
I mean, it's sitting at a pretty rough rating right now. I think that's a lot of the acting, a lot of the story. Another thing that you have to watch out for in this is the dialogue. It's some really weak,
the writing,
just dialogue that just is real plain,
and
like,
that kind of wraps in with the conveniences.
That cloning thing really gets me. I mean, how is it possible to clone someone being allergic to bees? I mean, it was just like, come on.
And we knew that was going to come back to hit us.
Yes, there was these moments the movie would spell out things that would happen in the future. Like they're in the car driving together, and Will Smith just goes, "You know what? I'm allergic to bees," and I'm like, I look over,
and I don't like to drown.
Yeah, and I have a real. She goes, what are you scared about more than anything? Because that's how you talk in a car. And he goes, you know, it's drowning. And he told this whole little story with flashbacks of drowning. And me and Larry go, gee, he's allergic to bees and drowning. I wonder what's going to happen.
It's just exposition all over the place. I mean, it's everywhere. You kind of know how the film's going to
We don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
God. So,
yeah.
Let's give it a rating.
Like I said,
I'll go
There's
first.
a good movie in this movie. Okay, you want to go first?
I'll go first.
You
You started,
first.
so.
All right, you go first.
I dislike the dialogue. Some of the acting. Action was pretty decent. Some of the effects were good. There was some parts of the movie I was interested in. The sci-fi was real janky. They didn't really put any thought or care into it. There was a lot of conveniences. I'm going to have to say this is a D+.
I'm going to say I wish Will Smith would have created a character. It's lots of conveniences.
Yeah.
There is no sci-fi. There's no sci-fi to this at all.
No, it's not even in the future.
I think that would have made something a little better if they added that element with cloning and stuff. That's something you would think that would be in there, but it's not.
Yeah,
Clive Owen, Will Smith, they just play themselves.
You know what? 13th Day was better.
The pacings.
With Arnold. It was.
Yeah. Actually, it's the 6th day. You keep going.
Oh,
13th day.
right. Thank you.
I had to correct them on our pre-crank.
Thank you. Yeah,
But-
the 6th day.
But overall, there's a good movie in here. You'll be entertained, but don't expect to walk out with
Don't
your
go to
mind blown.
theaters. See it.
Yeah.
See it in
When it comes
rental.
out on streaming, check it out then. But for me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it just a straight C.
See? All right. That's pretty good. Well, guys, I'm going to wrap this thing up. Please make sure to subscribe. Click on the notification bell and all that good stuff. But also make sure to check out our Facebook page. We talk and communicate to everybody on both sides. So, and like you said, the gift card giveaway is coming up.
Just a
make
click
sure
away.
to subscribe. And that's about it.
Yep. Until next time, guys. We'll see you later.
Thanks.